Hello, this Catalyst 360 and Northern Lights Publishing bring you a roundtableette, 10 or so minutes with a roundtable regular. Today's roundtableette is with children's book author and humorist Mark O'Brien. Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to another roundtableette. This time we're talking with Mark O'Brien, humorist and children's author. And I've actually read some of Mark's material, and it is humorous, and I am a child, so there we go. Mark, tell us a little bit. You have guitars in the background, so Mark already wins with me, just so everyone knows he's a musician, so we're good. And I think I see Emmys up on the top bookshelf.
Those are actually Telly Awards.
Yeah.
And Batman memorabilia.
I knew that. So tell us about yourself, Mark.
Okay. I would consider myself to be a lifelong writer, although I'm relatively recent to publication. I would say the last dozen years or so. I'm sitting here today with those guitars behind me because between the ages of 18 and 28, I was absolutely convinced I was going to be a rock star. And you can see how well that turned out. So I have owned my own business, which is actually a brand management company. Let's call it marketing and advertising for simplicity, for a shade over 20 years. It continues to go well, and I believe I'm right where I belong. Excellent,
right where you belong, with guitars in the background. You didn't tell us about the Telly Awards. Where are those from or for?
I had a client, actually, this was back in 06, I believe, and they were a software company, and they were courting a major national company. Details are not terribly important. So they called me up one day and said, look, we're going to make a presentation at the annual meeting of this company. We need a video. So I said, what kind of video? They said, we don't know. I said, could there be humor in it? And they said, sure. So I wrote a spoof of a game show. And the software this company made was for, it was called document management at the time. We'd call it content management now. But the whole thing back in those days was to eliminate paper. So the game show was paper versus paperless. And it featured some clueless agent from Baked Alaska against some savvy female agent from How You Doing, New York. And so they met face to face for the game show. I wrote the script over a weekend. I submitted it on Monday. It was approved on Monday. And between Monday and Friday of that same week, a gentleman in Georgia who's a director producer had hired the talent, rented a soundstage, and completely outfitted it for the game show. So I flew down to Atlanta for the shoot, and the producer director asked the talent to introduce themselves to me in costume and in character, which was the most amazing thing, because my thinking was, 5 days ago, you lived in my computer, and now here you are talking to me. So we shot that, and we submitted it to the Telly Awards and also to the U.S. International Film and Video Awards. And in each of those contests, we won 4. I won 3 of each for the writing, and the producer director won 1 of each for his directing.
Excellent, very good.
Yeah,
and I hope people watching this roundtable recognize the humor that was in there. I said he was a humorist. Yeah. So Mark is a regular contributor and a panelist on the roundtable. Mark, what are your goals for the roundtable?
I
What are
think it's
your personal goals?
my first temptation is to say it's goal singular, and that is to learn. Um, but I'm willing to take it plural because as a result of the people that I've connected with through the roundtable, thanks to you, um, I absolutely relish that opportunity as well to meet new people. Um, and I'm hoping that we can attract more people to the roundtable. I was tempted to say more creative people, um, but I don't. I think if people who don't consider themselves to be terribly creative come to the roundtable, they're likely to find out they're wrong, and they're likely to find out that um, they may have creative tendencies they didn't really expect or recognize before.
Hmm.
And part of the value of the roundtable to me is understanding from the interaction and the conversations that take place that we truly are limited only by our own imaginations. And it seems to me, again, through the roundtable, the more input you can get for or to your imagination, the more creative you can be. I, I, I know for a fact I'm doing and writing things now that I would not have been doing and writing had it not been for conversations in the roundtable.
Yeehaw. Good. Excellent.
And by the
That
way,
to me,
we should say um, this is completely unscripted, and at least as far as I know, you're not paying me a penny for this. True.
yes. And I'm thrilled to hear that because that was one of my objectives for the roundtable, for people to realize that whatever our medium is, we're not siloed, you know. So excellent. What are your goals for people watching the roundtable, wanting to participate but being hesitant or shy? What is your hope that people get out of the roundtable?
Interestingly enough, one of the things that I learned from having written and published some books for children and therefore being invited to schools, one of the things I've learned is that I'm not sure if I should say we have whatever our creative bents were in childhood, either taken from us or we just, because of whatever influences, gave them up. Um, but we can get them back, and I learned that from spending time with children, and I would also say that if people, I think I need to say adults, if adults suspect that they may have some creative tendencies, they are often afraid to act on them because as adults, we tend to think that first steps need to be perfect, which is, as far as I can tell, damn near impossible. Um, kids don't have any such hangups, and they recognize that to get anywhere, to get to a second step, you have to take a first. And they also understand somehow because their senses of curiosity and wonder are as yet undiminished, that if they take that first step and things aren't exactly what they thought they were going to be, they're not saddled by the undue expectations that I think adults are. Um, so if everything on their first step turned out to be exactly what they thought it was going to be, they take another one. And if it doesn't turn out to be exactly what they thought it would be, they think about it some more, maybe angle a little bit from what they thought their second step would be and take it. And then they just keep going. Um, and I really hope that people who Well, first, I hope people will come to the roundtable. And when they do, I hope they will learn that first steps can't be perfect, but that they will never get the second or third steps if they don't take a first.
Mhm. Very good. Anything else, sir, that you wish to add before we close this round tablet?
I think I've also learned that we're probably as adults more afraid of being judged than we think we are, and kids are not. And I'll tell you this one story. I was speaking to a group of children, 100 anyway. I don't remember exactly how many, but I do remember this one particular boy was in fifth grade, and he said to me, "What do you have to do to be a writer?" And I said, "Actually, there's only two things: write and don't quit." And the kid's face lit up, and he said, "I'll never quit." And I looked at his teacher and I said, "That young fella already knows that he's going to succeed." And the teacher smiled and said, "Yes, he does." I don't know how and why we lose that, but we do. But I do know we can get it back.
Maybe how it is lost should be a roundtable discussion because I encountered a lot with people who I'm working with. I'm
I would love that.
making notes.
I'm going to assume that your handwriting is better than mine because when I make notes and go back and look at them, I can't read them.
How we lose spontaneity.
That too. I would be comfortable filing it under self-faith because I don't know if we can be spontaneous if we don't believe in ourselves.
So true. Very good, sir. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day and your TELUS award-winning work and musicianship and
My
just
pleasure. Thank
branding your little butt off to be
and
on this
onward.
roundtable.
And I thank you as well.
Very good, sir. Have a good day.